chill. And here we go. Oh, let's get everybody here.
Yeah.
Hello, and happy holidays.
Double entrance right there.
That's right.
First we're doing our camera on, and then she comes out from the side.
And welcome to Therapy of the Absurd, episode 21. How's everybody doing?
Trying to get into these holidays. That's all I can say.
And today we have a guest host with us.
That's right.
Yeah, y'all. The incredible.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, okay, she's not muted anymore.
Nicole Denise.
Sorry about that.
Hi.
Did
I unmute myself?
Hello. Welcome, Nicole.
Okay, yeah. Hi,
No, you're good.
You're good now.
You're good.
Okay.
I was looking at that. I'm like, oh, it looks like she's muted.
Nicole, which flappers contest did you win? Did you win the Uncle Clyde's? What did you win?
The Uncle Clyde's?
So we have an Uncle Clyde's alum, champion alum with us tonight.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
Okay, well, let's be clear. I didn't win like the whole... Wait, I didn't win the whole shit, though. Like, I put that line out there. Okay? I won in like 2 of them. And then the last one, I don't know what happened.
But you got some money, right? You got to partake.
I got
yeah. So as long as you advance that part,
some money.
That's right.
It rained.
Right.
Hey man, anytime you can make any kind of money or paper for being an artist of any kind is just a beautiful thing, right? Because people who try to help run it or think they run it, they ain't trying to pay nobody.
Especially in comedy, you don't really make no money. Like,
music's that way too. Music's that way too. Trust me, they don't want to pay nobody. Like, oh, you're here to play. You gotta play for an hour. Yeah, you got that $40 you're gonna give us? Oh no, but you can play.
40?
Oh yeah. Hey man, you got people who don't want to give you $10. You know, I'm serious, man. I mean, any of you guys seen that Unforgiven Dave Chappelle?
Of course.
Oh man, have you seen that one yet, Dana?
Yeah, wait, Unforgiven, like that.
Yeah, it's a new thing.
The Netflix conversation. I mean, the him asking Netflix not to.
That's part of it. But
I mean, what I'm saying, I'm just as a reference for what I watched. I watched whatever that was, and I watched the whole thing. So if that's
this one's a new one that they put on YouTube. That he discusses. The part of it is the Netflix. The majority is how obviously how we got done in with Chappelle Show and stuff by Comedy Central.
That's all I'm saying.
But all the stuff before that is just him as a kid and stuff.
Well, no, yeah. But I'm saying, but there's only one. He only has the one show out called Unforgiven, talking about that, culminating with the Take It
on YouTube. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, that's all. So that's always not described it that way.
Have you seen that one yet, Dan?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Dude,
I saw what I think Dana saw, which was like I think there was a clip that came out that.
I saw
a clip.
No, I saw.
I saw this like 12-minute or something thing, which was the Netflix rant.
Yeah.
That's what
I watched the whole
thing. That's
thing.
the thing I see on you. I saw on YouTube where the algorithm just says here's the same 5 things over and over again for some reason.
But no, Stefan, I saw and then I saw the whole thing, like where he's talking about being a kid in comedy, getting jokes taken. Like, so no, I didn't see just a piece of it, Dan. I saw the whole thing because it was amazing. It was powerful. It was especially the part where he talked about the shell game and his girl and trying to
with his what is it, Puerto Rican honey who came down for the weekend and he had only $60 and they got that card game going on and he thought, oh man, I'm gonna beat this guy. Boy, was he wrong.
I saw that part too.
Boy, was he wrong.
That was powerful though, because he was like, I mean, we've all heard it. Especially if you come up African American, you don't come between nobody and their money for no reason.
Oh yeah, you don't mess with nobody's money.
Oh no, that's the mafia rule too, man.
Like
any mob, you don't mess with their money.
Yeah, but I mean, but it was just powerful. It was powerful.
Oh yeah, but the part that really,
are we shocked?
Oh yeah, the part that got me was the other comedian, right? I can just take it. I was like,
but but think about what Dave shared. He was a kid. He was still himself a kid.
No, I know.
But it was
the fact that dude was probably older than, regardless of his age. But he was an adult. The fact that somebody would do that to a kid, like if I was 15, I'd have found a way to fuck him up. Just being straightforward, I'm just saying.
You know what I want to know? I want to know if Dave has had a conversation with
same
him.
Dude. Oh, I bet that dude feels stupid as shit now.
I would love to know that.
Oh yeah, I hope he's still alive so he can.
That's what I was gonna say. I wonder is that cat even still alive to
eat some humble pie up on that piece? Yeah, because that's crazy. You know, I remember doing gigs with other people and you know, other bands sometimes would have a song that maybe sound kind of close, and then they'd get in fights over, you know, who came up with the riff first. Just really like, you know, crazy stuff. It's just crazy hearing how people communicate with other people, especially when someone is young. Oh yeah, and you know, naive and doesn't know any better, and you know, his heart was in the right place. Yeah, he just wanted to help somebody out. He just didn't know that person, unfortunately, was a was a pretty bad person.
Right. Or just had no good intentions, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know.
That is an interesting logo there. Cool. I mean, avatar, whichever. The eyeball. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eyeball.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you, Sauron.
Yeah, Lord Sauron, Lord of the Rings. Shit is his cereal. I don't know. Okay, cereal.
Why? I don't even know what that was in reference to.
I don't know. That was random. Sorry. I thought that I was like, wait.
I think that's the problem with sometimes when we don't bring them up right as they come up. It was reference to something we were saying earlier.
Okay, so it says what is it? The Ready Leader. Am I reading that right? Am I the only one?
Yeah, right? It's the Red Eye Leader.
The Red Eye Leader is wanting to know what we're talking about. We're talking about Dave Chappelle Unforgiven. If you type in Dave Chappelle Unforgiven on YouTube, you will find exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Really eye-opening, really thought-provoking. It's really, really, really good. Made me angry. Not what he was saying, but what others do to other people. When I hear people say anything about how bad other people are treating other people, that just pisses me fuck off, dude. Oh yeah.
But by the way, Vanessa's reminding us that it's Ronnie's birthday.
Oh, birthday boy.
Okay.
Well, happy birthday, Ron. Happy birthday to you. There you go.
And yes, my cousin says I was talking about the comedian who stole DC's joke. He said the shit in his cereal. See, in context, it makes sense. Because that's what one does when someone's been wronged by another comedian. Is you find a way through a window and then you do the rest.
There you go. Everyone wish Ronnie Schoonover
a happy birthday.
Down below a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ron. Yeah. Because he comes up with great comments and he's a regular. And we are grateful for all the folks who come in here from week to week fooling with us and the therapy.
Moral of the story: don't steal fools' jokes. Don't do that. Don't ask to borrow the joke. Don't
even ask to borrow the joke.
Yeah, just stay away. Don't do other people's material. Like get out, live life, make mistakes, and you'll have jokes. There you go.
Because I will fight.
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, especially if you got that 7-minute set that's tight, and you got that one joke in there that you close with that you know kills them all the time, and somebody wants to jack that shit, and it took you a year to come up with that bit. You know what I'm saying? No. Right? It's like how are people surprised that George Lopez has to hold what was it, Carlos Mencia up and punch him in the nose for stealing a bit? And that bit, how do we know that you know George Lopez didn't take 2 years to write that bit, right? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that. No, there are people in comedy who will hold you accountable, physically and mentally.
Wow.
Oh yes.
Like I in my mind, why? Like at a certain point, like it's not right what the dude did at all to Dave, but people unfortunately try to take candy from babies all the time. It's unfortunate, but it is just what it is. So I'm not saying that he is justified in trying to take, but I get that. Like you a grown man and you're tragic and whatever your thinking is, and you think that somehow this is okay to take from this kid. But I'm surprised, like it pains me to hear that in the adult comedy game, especially amongst larger comedians, that anybody would like steal. Like, how you gonna steal from George Lopez? Like,
oh yeah, I mean, and you could tell there was barely differences between the two.
You going to hell? You going to comedy hell?
No, there's a lot of stuff that if I stole it from George Lopez, you could tell if I said it. Like, that's not. He's not supposed to say like half those jokes.
Yeah, that would be pretty
racist. Half of his stuff is about being Mexican. So like if I like stole it and I tried to take it out there, and I'm in the club like then my Mexican mom, they're like, no, like yeah, you're right. Darn.
And so then let me ask, because I'm not as familiar with the controversy, was the comedian who stole, like, was he Mexican or?
He was mixed. I believe he was Honduran and white. Dan, am I correct? I believe so. I know he was Honduran. I know that. I'm pretty sure he was Honduran and white. And long story short, Carlos Mencia got his name from Mitzi Shore, who was one of the co-creator and person who was running the Comedy Store in Sunset for forever. Mm-hmm. And she, had a thing if you were a regular there, or you just happened to be, there all the time, and she felt she could help your career, at least from the stuff that I was reading and hearing. Then she would help give you like a what teachers today are saying don't do, which is create a gimmick for you, right? Something to give you like a gimmicky title or a catchy thing to kind of play on something that's you, or she feels like could sell. And I'm not saying none of that stuff works now, but it doesn't work as much as it used to, because I believe, at least from the stuff that I've been hearing, not just from the teachers that are teaching comedy now, but a lot of the ones that are in it now even will say this, is that people want real. Right now, gimmicky is not selling as hard unless someone's like, a big name, right? If they're not a big name, to be an up and coming comic and be super gimmicky now that's not what the mass public wants. They want real. You can throw in the gimmicky shit in there, but they want the real shit first. Right. Who you are, where you come from, what you're about, where you're going or trying to go, that kind of stuff. Or your pain. People want to hear about your pain, right? So
they say pain plus time equals comedy. That's another thing that I started hearing going into different comedy workshops. And I need that's the equation. And even I've been in some other some rooms lately, and you hear every now and then you hear somebody say that, because that's and I think the personal story is still king. It's the oldest storytelling device known to man anyway. So I think I just think I agree. I know that's kind of king with flappers. We talk often about flappers around here, and that's what they teach, that your personal story, because I think it just stems from the importance of having a POV on anything.
Oh yeah. Not everybody's going to feel the same about everything. I mean, some things maybe, but not everything. I mean, come on. You know what I mean?
Something that happened the other night. If I'm telling a period joke, Nicole may be telling a period joke. So and so, our friend Keisha is coming on tonight. But you can't say that any of us took somebody's period joke. Everybody's going to have one, because periods are ubiquitous. That's first. Second, everybody's going to have a point of view about a period anyway. Everybody's a woman. And actually, I guess everybody that's a man that's been married or interacted with or whatever is going to have. I was on a mic last night. I won't say the
consequences to it, but yeah.
Say that again.
More consequences to it, but yeah.
Right. Well, and so this comic last night was just she says, yeah, I've been having a lot of period sex lately, and I was courteous enough to bring my own dark towel last night.
Ooh, damn.
Okay. All right, 23-year-old. I hear you.
Oh yeah.
So I just 23-year-old. But you know what? I don't feel like there's any new topics. Every comic is going to eventually hit the same top. There's nothing new in the world. There's nothing new. Everything is going to be talked about at some point the same. It's just you have a different perspective. But ain't nothing new happening. Really?
No,
COVID is new, but guess what? We all got COVID jokes.
Right. Oh yeah.
I don't know.
And they'll expire. You got another year, probably. They got another year on them.
That's why it will be great to do them 3 years after.
Not if you plan to Bob. I mean,
no, you're just I'm gonna do these old jokes. See if they're still,
if they're
still timeless.
Oh no, that's the thing, man. If you're live at Flappers in 2 years and you're doing COVID jokes somewhere in the middle of your set, which is probably where you want to put them, you might get the first boo you ever get, because nobody's gonna want to hear about that shit.
Okay, so what I hear is there's a challenge right there to make something funny enough where you get past it.
Be like, you remember them COVID times? Boo! Oh shit!
It depends. No, because look, it depends on how you flip it. What if you say, you remember the COVID times? Fuck COVID. Then everybody's gonna be like, yeah, fuck COVID.
Oh yeah, see, then it can go that way. Yeah. Real quick, we want to wish Anthony Barreel a happy birthday. Your birthday was on 8th. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, happy birthday, sir.
Yep.
So it looks like we have the toys of Christmas past.
Oh. That made no sense to the audience for a moment.
Dun dun dun.
Well, so sorry, Nicole, but we did not have any slides for you made in time. But we're going to ask yours at the end.
Okay.
So I asked a few of us. We all gave 3 examples. What was funny is that actually Stephanie and I are like 4 for 4 here, which is hilarious to me. So we shared some as a team. Anyways, I have a different way to run this where you don't see that control up there, and I'm going to use it. So the first thing, who remembers these?
Oh yes, who can't remember the HeMan?
Okay. I think HeMan is awesome because he was like ahead of his time for letting you know his preferred pronouns.
Oh.
Nice.
And yeah. By the way, this was one of the most funny, useless things, but I loved it as a kid because, I'm weird like that. This thing would like get to the end and then spin this thing around, and then its other feet would come here and then go to the end of that and then spin around. And you put one of these guys on it, and he's like, I'm going so fast. Come on, He-Man. So, yeah, I can't do Prince Adam. I can only do Skeletor. It's part of, the face thing.
Well, in the movie, Frank Langella, I think that's how you say his last name. He played Skeletor, the Dolph Lundgren Masters of the Universe. Who doesn't remember that car wreck?
My wife digs that a lot. I'm like, I don't want to watch that again. I had all these things because growing up, in the suburbs, but these castles were pretty neat back then. I haven't seen a lot of toys made like this since then, but that's because they're smartphones now.
Oh yeah, cell phone video games and apps have taken over. That's for sure.
Right,
for sure had that.
Oh wow, look at those, Dana.
Dana reminded us of this, so that we have the modern one at the very top there.
Right,
we have the one.
Nope.
But let me just say this: when I was little, it was red. Period. Like these are still, I don't mind saying my birthday. I don't always tell the year, but all I will say is that it wasn't none of these. The only thing that I do see is the pans are there. I'm thumbs up. I think that little thing was great. I'm pointing to, like y'all can see what I'm pointing to. The little orange thing where you push it on through there, that, whatever that little tool is. They still had that. But all these other fantastic, beautiful situations and simulations and off brands down there, that's not us. That's not me at all. It was red. I'll bring it next week. I'll bring it next time.
You want me to remove that, Dan?
Nope. Oh, there was just a glitch there. Shit, illusion is gone.
The new one is beautiful. The new one is beautiful, and I like the white one. I'll leave it right there. The white one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That purple one.
I had the white one.
Okay, you had the white. Okay.
Yeah,
I had that exact one.
Yeah, we had that one also. I can't just say my sister had it because I played with it too. It was cool. But these ones at the bottom, like right here, are the original ones.
That's crazy.
Oh, really? So that must all those predate me because I don't know any of those.
Yeah, the only thing
I had never seen those.
The only thing I wanted Easy Bake Oven for was to take my sister's Barbie and Ken doll so I could see what happens when I put them inside.
Well,
I'm just curious. They just want some.
Follow-up question: face down or face up?
Well, I don't know. I didn't want to see their face. Probably face down.
Okay, help.
Where do we go? What are we talking about? Face down,
right?
We get lost sometimes. Apologies.
I don't know I'm lost. I don't know what we're talking about.
Well, no, should we recap? No.
Are we talking about face down, face up in terms of the cake? Like, should you?
I still don't know what we're talking about. We're still off topic.
I think it was something dirty. I think I'm gonna.
It was more like it was dark on top of your dark.
Okay. So
for those of you if there was like an internet glitch or something, he said that he would put what's it, Barbie dolls in the
Barbie
Easy Bake Oven.
Yeah, Easy Bake
And
Oven.
my follow-up question was face up or face down.
Yeah, he was wondering if I watched their face in horror as I turned the oven on. Is basically what he's asking.
He's like, and then I quickly made it perverted.
Right. Well, that sounds perverted. I was in a room tonight and I said something about I'm all lovey-dovey and I was like, I'm very gushy. And then I was like, that's not quite what I wanted to say. That didn't come out right.
Yeah, you got some grown ass men their head's gonna go right there. They won't even try. It'll just autopilot. It'll just autopilot, you know. They can't help it.
So briefly, yes, this is something that Stefan and I both had. These are not Transformers. These are, you know, how dare the machines think for themselves. They always must have a man inside them. And this is the cars right here, apparently. That's the thing. But we, you know, like, I got, like, all these, Stefan. I never got that damn truck.
Yeah, I only got that car on the far right, the black car. I mean, I was happy I just even got one, but for those who don't know, the cars do kind of either transform into a boat or a ship to fly or just back to a car, or they break off like the truck in a little piece for another vehicle. And you didn't really want to take them in the bathtub. I did that, so that caused a lot of problems for the car. And then they had these little helmets that had like almost like Superman lasers you could shoot out if you were wearing the helmet kind of thing. It gave them like a little bit of powers or whatever. Nothing like Superman. It's just more Superman-ish. And the show, think G.I. Joe, but then with the cars that kind of turn into different vehicles, and then they put on the helmets to have superpowers. Then you got what this is. It's from the 80s, you know. It's from the 80s. Everybody was on something, right?
All right. Well, here's another weird one then.
Which one was this one? Oh, that's classic, man. I still like the new Netflix version of that. Actually, it's not bad. It's not bad. If anybody gets a chance to watch Voltron or wondering what that is, check it out on Netflix. They did an updated series for it. And
the Transformers, right?
It's extremely advanced, very efficient fighting machine. All you have to do is wait for these 5 lion robots to transform into body parts and connect, some of them feet to ass, and become this thing.
That already sounds like a joke all on its own. No, think Power Rangers. The closest you'll get to something like this is basically Power Rangers, because Power Rangers basically ripped off of this, and then this ripped off of Transor Z or Robotech or something.
Well, no, Robotech was a little different. This was I think you could say this is the granddaddy of the whatever they're called now. They give them a regular name. You know, whatever they called them in Pacific Rim. But
okay.
Yeah, the robots.
I forget now what the hell they're called in that movie. I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, no, I see the back legs of this the big black cat on the upper right. Okay, his back legs are going into the asses of the blue and the yellow cats, so he could have feet.
So this is
a toy that I loved.
Wow.
I don't think it was explained this way when we were little, though.
No, I know. Yeah, again, like the people making these things in the 80s, man. What's going on here? What's going on?
Right.
Dana gave
magnets.
Yeah. Dana gave us another idea.
Oh.
But I don't know if I found the right one that she was looking for. Because there's as many different types of pottery wheel, and of course something that I had to think about with a pottery wheel.
You know what? Interestingly enough, though, the one on the picture looks the most like the one that we had. Now, it looks a little more modern, but that looks the most like the one we actually had. Because I remember
the yellow one? The one with the yellow
the yellow and the green. I think that's probably like a modern, because I'm sure ours had a cord because it was the 70s. So I'm sure we didn't have cordless, but honestly, that's the one that looks the closest. The other ones are awesome. Like, just for the record, like, I wish, like, I'm interested in trying that again, because it's kind of like cool. The possibility of like, you just sit here and you make this thing, you know, and there's all these things you can do. It's kind of cool.
Pottery, wood shop, all that stuff is fun.
Right. Stuff with your hands. I mean, I think people will get surprised that when you find something that your hands like to do, it makes you very happy. That's all I can really say.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that sounded any better either. But
I've got a whole bunch of references.
I'll stick with pottery.
It's like that comedy horror movie they have called Idle Hands. What is it? Idle Hands or The Devil's Playground is one of the lines in the movie. So you want to keep your hands busy with pottery, with making stuff out of clay, with wood shop. We're not talking about no nasty guys.
Right.
Out the gutter. Out the gutter.
There's something to that. I think there's something to that.
Build some stuff
there. So hard.
I know.
We've all heard of Transformers. I mean, they've made movies, and they're just robots from an alien planet. But what about these guys? Gobots.
Okay, I'm not even familiar.
Those were the okay, if you will, the Payless of Transformers. That's what those were considered.
I love it.
Like, no joke. I'm serious.
So
right?
well.
Yeah,
I got more of those than I did Transformers. My older brother, who was spoiled, he got Transformers. I got Gobots.
Gobots. Well,
I have never.
Yeah, I first got Gobots when I was a kid, and I was like, "Wow, these things break really easy. I should stop playing with them." Like this motorcycle here. This is Psykill. See how clever that is? Psykill. And look at his just psychopathic robot face. It is mesmerizing.
Bonnie says, I'll restrain.
I think he didn't like my joke about the Transformers on his birthday. I don't know. Maybe that's it.
I will say this. Okay, maybe they were on drugs when they made Transformers. Gobots, they needed drugs. Okay, they needed drugs. I mean, can you tell? What was his name again, Dan? Kill what?
Kill what? Oh, Psykill.
Yeah, they needed. Come on, man. That's the best you could come up with.
There was a lot of things. Somewhere I still have the space shuttle guy though, but they're still pretty cheesy. I was like, "Is this a McDonald's toy?" Oh no, this is a Gobot.
Why do you still have it then? Why?
I don't know, because for about a year I was investing as a child in the brand, and it failed me.
Okay.
Damn you, Gobots! You were heroes.
Oh boy.
Now, we talked about HeMan. This is totally not like HeMan at all. Right, Steph?
Uh-oh. Oh, I love that cartoon, though, man. That's classic for the longest time.
This is a horrible, scary doll.
Come on now.
Oh, yeah. No, the toys did no justice to the cartoon. Whoever made these,
I didn't know they had toys. Thundercats.
Oh, yeah. Mumra does not look like Mumra.
But for real, come through Thundercats. That was my, that was my shit. Oh my god,
I think
I was in high school. I was in high school. We loved them.
Oh yeah. Was it Panthera, Dan?
Panthera.
I don't know.
Or Panthera? I forget. But the rumors for the longest time in Hollywood is they were trying to get Vin Diesel to play him.
Oh.
And I forget who they were trying to get to play Lionel. Oh yeah. They've been fighting to put this into production for a long time.
They did it. I don't know that it made it out because I know someone who worked on the animation, who worked on the live action. I know someone who, and I saw clips. I just thought because that person who does a lot of big stuff, they had the whole box set of all of them and gave that to me and Ali. Just we were friends or whatever. So, but now I'm frustrated because I'm is it Thundercat? What was he? Now I got a Panthera. Why do I not know?
I think so. I think it was something like that for sure.
Okay. If anybody down below way easier than HeMan,
please type them.
I'm here. Panthera, Panthro.
Okay, so I was right the first time. Okay.
So thank you. I just because I am the Martin Luther King, Malcolm X of our bunch, I have to always say this. So he was voiced by a black actor, and and it was very exciting. And if you guys, he's actually passed away recently. But fun fact, I'm mentioning Bill Cosby in context, but the actor who would play Bill Cosby's father on the show, on the Cosby Show, that's the voice of Panthro.
Oh, nice.
Shut up.
No, because and I was like, hey, that's because I saw it late. I was like, hey, that's dude, but yeah, and obviously me and my sister are nerds, so we looked it up, we made sure. But yeah, he passed away a few years ago, and that was listed, that was talked about because I think a lot of people didn't know that. But
one of my favorite voice actors on the side. His name's Keith David. He also does actual acting. But yeah, he's one of my favorite actors, man. Beautiful black man, awesome actor.
There's some folks that I'm blessed to hang out with, and they moved out of the neighborhood, and I'm friends with his wife. But man, we were Super Bowl Sunday one year. I was trying to find somewhere to be, so I was like, I'm gonna just go to so and so's house because I know they probably got something hopping, and everybody just congregated at their house, and I said it just as many times I've been blessed to have a conversation with him, be in the room, it never gets old to be where he is, like to hear his voice. Like when Panda Express, Kung Fu Panda came out. I remember we were all hanging out and he was just like the whooshy finger hold. And I'm just like, I was like, what is this? I'm standing here talking to Keith David about the whooshy finger hold. Like just to hear his voice. Like, I mean,
no, he to this day still has voiced the best Spawn animated Spawn, like hands down, and Gargoyles. Oh, I love Gargoyles.
Huh.
So,
and then the next one we got, I actually had something more like the one to the left, but not as classy. But I had a case record player. But Dana mentioned one of her favorites was a record player.
So many varieties of so many things. I mean, I think the record player is hard to pin down. I can see some of the ones we had, but I couldn't. I think one had some pink in it. But our parents were very generous because we loved music and we loved records. And thank you for this send up because obviously I had none of those. That wood grain though looks nice.
Oh no, the one on the far right looks.
Mine was in a big brown case. It was a big brown case, and I used to play my Michael Jackson records on it.
Us too. Pictures of me and my sister. Because there were two of us, we were like, we're Sonny and Cher being Michael Jackson. So we would stand in chairs with our jump rope as microphones and sing ABC. That was our thing.
I would play actual Michael Jackson as well in my yellow cased one, but I would also use it to mouser-size.
What's mouser-size? I'm scared. What is it?
I'm scared.
It was Disney put out you exercise with movie. Come on, you fat little kid. Just keep exercising. You're going to get a lot skinnier. Ha! He just screw with you for 60 minutes straight, but it was supposed to make you healthier. So,
hey man, Mickey's trying to help.
I hate they did you like that, man. That's not right.
You should not have called him a fat little kid. That's disrespectful.
Hey there, little boy. Get to work.
No, but they did have mouser-size. If you look it up in the 80s, Disney did put out a record where you could exercise with Mickey, and he'd tell you what to do. I don't remember any of the exercises. I mean, look at me. Okay, so... and then finally we have G.I. Joe.
Why is his butt out?
That's the original G.I. Joe, and that's his ass, because there's a picture of it online.
I feel like Jim Carrey.
I looked up the original G.I. Joe, and one of the first pictures I find is a collection of every angle of G.I. Joe, including this. You know what? That's masterpiece.
That's so you can tell if it's legit. I bet that's probably.
Well, see that right there. If we zoom in on it,
he got a tramp stamp.
I feel like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber, though. You know, when he. The guy's walking by and he goes, hey, look at that. And then he turns around. He's like, yeah, he must work out.
But this is how you knew, you were in the house of the cool kid is he had this Cobra.
We couldn't afford that, dude. I probably got maybe
I didn't have it either.
55 of the characters. And anybody who had all that, they came from some money because I didn't have. And then, my older brother's birthday would come along, and then he'd come home with a big bass or something. Yeah, and I got, I could only play with it when he wasn't there because when he saw me play with it, he beat me up.
Yeah, and every kid wanted the aircraft carrier because it was gigantic and your mom can trip on it. So, by the way, Nicole, what are a few that you remember?
I don't know if y'all had them out here. We have Munchie Cheese. Did y'all?
Oh yeah,
classic.
Munchie Cheese was my favorite.
Oh yeah.
I thought for a while I used to say that back in the day, Munchie Cheese. I want a Munchie Cheese. I'm from Detroit originally, so when I came out here, nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about. But what else was my favorite? I had a Munchie Cheese. Anything strawberry shortcake. I was a
nice
strawberry shortcake junkie, and any cars. Like I loved cars, like the little cars. I don't even know what they're called. They were
Hot Wheels. Well, there's Hot
Okay.
Wheels and there's Matchbox, and they go about the same ramps.
Same thing, yeah, and Hot Wheels. And that was it. That's it right there.
Oh,
Munchie Cheese was the shit,
yeah, Munchie Cheese was awesome. Yeah, no lie on that.
My cousin showed me how easy it was to rip their like scalp hair off without the rest of the hair, and it just made them look weird.
What's wrong with y'all?
Boys, we just want to like take the hair off. And,
this was my female cousin. That was like, look what I did to mine. It's punk rock now.
You want to see what happens when it goes inside the Easy Bake? Yeah, boys are bad. I just want to say we have an amazing special guest joining us here shortly. Keisha is a comedian and an actor and has written 2 screenplays, has performed stand-up all over NYC and currently LA now on Zoom. She is a creator and producer of Friday Night Funny's weekly virtual comedy show. So we welcome Keisha Norton.
Keisha.
Hey guys. Hey Dana.
Hi.
And of course, Stefan.
How is your week going, Keisha?
It's going great. I love getting ready to move between Christmas and New Year's in a pandemic.
Ooh.
Always fun.
Wait, why are you moving?
Good question.
Well, I'm in a 2-bedroom right now. And so my roommate moved upstate to be with her new boyfriend. And I'm like, I'm done. I'll live with myself now. So I just said, screw it. And I'm moving.
Okay. Another good friend of ours, the great Melissa Garver, is also moving right now. Like it's just December. I'm like, you guys, moving is bad enough the other 364 days a year and the other 51 weeks. And I'm just like, of all the times.
I know.
Holiday. Yeah.
I know. And Christmas is my favorite thing to do, but this is what I've decided I'm going to do. I'm going to move and I'm going to set up full on Christmas over there and extend it into January. I don't care.
Amen.
Have a real full-on Christmas.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
I might even borrow someone's tree if they throw it outside. I'll just go pick it up and put it up.
I feel like if they can start putting Christmas stuff out in October, you can extend your Christmas.
No,
that's right. Thanks, Nicole. That's right.
You got it. I will send you a gift on January 25th, as a matter of fact.
That's hilarious.
Definitely. So what drew you to stand-up comedy, Keisha?
Well, when I was younger, when my mom was having a nervous breakdown, I felt obliged to keep everyone happy by making them laugh. And that's totally true. I can talk about it. My mom's dead, but she said it's okay if I told people. So I have her blessing. Pre-mortem or pre-death, she said that. Then, I was doing an internship in New York at this theater called Ensemble Studio Theater, and the interns that I was interning with, they were like, Keisha, you're kind of funny, and maybe you should take a class with Louis Black, who was actually teaching at Ensemble Studio Theater at that time. This is like when he was, this is going to show how old I am. It was like when he was 40 years old. So I thought, well, what the heck? Why not? The intern said I was kind of funny. Why not see? And then I just did, and just kind of haven't looked back. Performed a lot of stand-up in New York and then here in LA. But there was a time where I got really burnt out in the LA scene. It was during I felt like my ears were getting raped every time I went to do an open mic. And it was pretty harsh. And I just kind of walked away for a while because I was like, you know what? Either they have to change or I've got to figure out how to deal with this in a better way. So to truncate that, I did take a little bit of a break, and now I'm back.
Yeah,
I've been back for a while, so yeah.
I'm glad you're back.
Thank you. I am too, actually.
We need more. We need lots and lots of voices to be represented. So the more the merrier. We need, I mean that we need a lot of voices from all different walks of life, all different genders, everything. It's extremely needed. Growing up, I'm sure everybody can attest to this. There just wasn't enough representation for ladies, for people of color, for anybody in the gay community or any form of trans community or there just wasn't enough voices. And I'm happy, like when I do an open mic and I see, transgender people, gay people, a lot more women in there, a lot of different cultures. And that's just being honest. It just makes me smile because growing up, that's not what was going on.
Right.
Unless you were, at that point in time, probably in a comedy club and, the who's who of everybody going up. Maybe then there was some mild diversity, but to see, all these different cultures and different sexes of people doing stand-up really is not just eye-opening, but really puts a smile on my face, man. So yeah, please don't quit, please.
No, absolutely not. No, I'm here to stay till I die. But I think it's kind of indicative of what is really happening, hopefully, because the whole conversation, does art replicate real life or which one comes first? But I really think that the fact that there are shows now, in my show as well, it's unacceptable to tell rape jokes. It's unacceptable to put anybody down. I won't have anybody on my show who goes after the comics, who goes after the audience. I mean, sometimes they're, if they do it in jest, and that's fine. But when it becomes mean-spirited,
yeah,
right.
So they're just not, it's not their show to be on. They need to go find a different show.
Yes. I understand that. And I definitely appreciate that. There's a place and a time for everything. And, some people don't have those filters, Yeah. Let's see here. Who in comedy would you say is like a major influence for you?
Well, when I was little, I used to listen to George Carlin on the radio all the time. And so he definitely had a big influence on me. And then fast forward later on to when I lived in LA, I got the opportunity to meet him one time. Ooh. And I got to tell him how he influenced me.
Wow.
And, that was awesome. That was just like a moment that I will always, always remember. And then, I think like as a kid, those are like your first like real, it's like a record and the grooves are being put into the record, right?
Right.
So they really have a big bearing because there's a lot of people who influence me now, but this is going to sound kind of funny. Cher influenced me and Dana, I was hearing you talk about the Sonny and Cher show. I used to watch them and I loved Cher's imitations that she used to do and all like that. And then I loved Lily Tomlin,
yes.
Betty White, all of those. And then, and then of course, like now, definitely Lewis Black, Mitch Hedberg, Maria Bamford, and then I've got comics that have been on my show, and every Friday night, there's gold that comes out that maybe people don't even know these people.
Right.
And one of the, there's a comic that I don't know if you guys saw it, but I had this over 60s because I believe in America, we do not respect our elders. And it really bothers me.
Yes.
And so my oldest comic that I had on, her name's Anita Milner. She is funny as shit. Oh my God. And I want to get her on a TV show. Like she is so funny. People need to hear comedy. It's what's great about the older comics is they actually write jokes.
Right. True.
Set up and punch. And it's like, wow, they're really good. Well, because they're writing They're not just going, what else to talk about? Anyway, so I'm kind of babbling, but I just, every Friday night, I am inspired by everybody on my show. Wow. And then when I go out, and Dana, like your whole ancestry thing, hilarious. I freaking love, I've seen it a lot, and I never get bored with you doing it. It's like, I can't wait until you do it. Like a little spin. I'm like, who's she gonna add in tonight?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Because it's the gift that keeps on giving. I think when we look at like comedy and any of that, it's what can we find that we can make an eternal space out of? Like for you, what would you say is the joke? Like, for example, like Jerry Seinfeld, decided to trash all, like to not trash, but to end all of his jokes. And one thing that struck me was that they said these are some of these jokes he had told for 20, 30 years, like he told for all this time. And I'm just like, how does one tell the same jokes for that amount of time? But all of a sudden, like I have the ancestors and I'm never going to stop, just for the record, just so y'all know. Right. And so for you, is there anything that you can point to in your own work that you're like, this is eternal. This is evergreen for me. It'll always be with me.
Probably my ex-husband.
Right. Good stuff. That stuff is good. That's good stuff.
It's so funny because it's changed. Like in the beginning, Lewis would say to me, Keisha, you're too angry. It's too real. There's a difference between comedy anger and real anger. You're like, got to see the therapist angry. And so it's evolved and it's changed. And it's really funny because when you go back and you look at some of your writing, like I can look back to, I found a set from 20 years ago when I just moved to LA, and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it, because some of it I can still use. But wow. I think it's really cool because even if you put something away and you bring it back out, you can find a different way to say something, even if it's just one word. It's crazy. Like I've had these jokes about my ex-husband, and then all of a sudden this other joke came out where I say, and you probably remember this because you've probably heard a lot, but like I found out my ex got remarried on Facebook, and then I found out on Instagram he got divorced again. Now I'm just waiting for Twitter to tell me he's gay. And then I recently just added in, well, I saw his TikTok and he probably isn't because he still can't dance. Like, right. It's amazing how you can all of a sudden drop something in and get another laugh. Like, it can constantly evolve. And that joke, actually, you guys, started off as something totally different. And it took a while. Like some things, well, I'm blonde, so it takes me a while. Okay. but yeah, I love writing, and I know you're gonna ask me a certain question, so I'll save this. Remind me to tell you this part. But I'll mention that later. But there's just certain things that I learned along the way that actually had to do when I was acting that helped my comedy. So remind me to bring that back when you ask me the question.
Okay. And also, Keisha, something that's powerful, it's not, I think that jokes assemble themselves over time. And I think if you're always watching your craft and what's happening, like there was something that I started working on as kind of it started out as a callback to something other comedians were saying. Other comedians talk about how their parents always ask them when are they getting married. So my callback, because I was hearing it a lot, is, well, my dad never asked me to get, So then it eventually morphed into like, him not asking me, and then it morphed into the fact that he's asked about his grandson. Well, does he have a girlfriend? And then eventually there was this place where I started talking about I'm so single, and then all of it came together. I'm so single. My dad has never asked me, and and it went on down. But I would say that I started working on it and didn't know where the bit was going to go easily in September, maybe October, but it was almost like November before all of that came together as this thing that now works. Like, so I just want to say to you, and you've been doing this longer than I have, I don't think it's about taking longer to get, things are like puzzles, and sometimes the puzzle pieces are coming from other places. Do you find that? Do you find,
Yeah. Definitely. That's the cool thing about the process. And the creativity hits you at different times. Sometimes I'll be driving. I'm like, I can't write down my note. I'm in the 405. I'm like, I gotta remember. That's the worst because like you can't, you can't go to your voice message and start recording because you're driving. So I love when creativity hits when I'm like in bed, about to fall asleep, the notebook's right there. I can write safely and stuff like that. But yeah, it just changes. And I think when you just allow it to happen, it'll happen instead of trying to force it.
Right.
And as comics, I think we play a lot of mind games in our heads because we're all kind of broken toys. I mean, let's face it. I have 2 therapists, right? So one's dead, but that's another conversation. But like we really judge ourselves, and we, if it's not perfect the first time, it's like, oh, I gotta throw. No, it's like a painting. You throw some paint on. Sometimes you got to paint over it. Sometimes you got to change this, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is a really cool painting. It's the same thing with writing, I think.
I like that analogy.
It's making happy little clouds, as Bob Ross would put it. It's like, oops, that cloud wasn't supposed to be there, but I guess he could be there now.
Yeah, I love that.
Now that can stay.
Happy clouds.
I love that voice. That happy cloud voice.
Oh yeah. What if you had any tips you'd give to new comics? What tips would you give to new comics?
Okay, well, the first one is be really authentic. And I really believe in Bobby Oliver's book, The Tao of Comedy. I wish it was the first book that I actually read. Because
that one?
I love it. I've got it in my bedroom.
Buy the book, guys.
I think because I'm kind of oldish. So I didn't know who I was for a really, really long time, but Bobby's book really breaks that down. Like, just be you, be authentic, and everything will just kind of come. I mean, she goes way into a lot more, but really the funny comes out of being authentic and learning how to edit. Like, I see so many comics where they're just like, no, I gotta say it this way, blah. And it's like, it's not working. Edit. When I was doing this, I wrote this play for a theater company that I was in New York, and my director said, Keisha, the best thing you can do as a writer is learn how to edit. Pretend it's like a steak and you're going to cut out the fat, and then you're going to be left with a steak. Sorry, vegetarians, but that's the analogy he gave me. And I think that has, and always, it's like writing is like a woman's skirt. I heard this from my elementary school teacher. She's an English teacher. She said, keep your writing like a woman's skirt. Long enough to cover the subject and short enough to keep it interesting. That's fire. And then there's a few others. Don't run the light.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. It's, when producers are running a show, they have people that are going to sit down in an hour, whatever. Just don't run the light, and know when to get off stage. Yes. Sometimes even if you say you have a 5-minute set and you get the biggest laugh at 4, get off the stage. Mm-hmm. Why? Because you don't want to leave them with something that's not as funny. Because then they remember that wasn't that funny. They leave them with that big funny. They're going to go, oh my God, Stephen, that was great. I'm going to bring him back.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, those are probably my top 4 or 5.
Leave them with something that a pleasant memory, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those 5, if you start off authenticity, learn how to edit, don't run the light, and leave them on a big laugh, you'll be pretty solid. Would you guys agree on that one?
I would.
Oh yeah, your best joke should be your closer.
Yeah,
for sure.
you have to. Yeah, but it's but I think it's for anybody, maybe for us new ones. Sometimes you feel like I've got this time. I want to use every inch of my time, and I think that's kind of that may be kind of an early comic thing, and so you feel some kind of way when you don't. And I don't know what. So now y'all are nodding, so I don't feel so bad because sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to give up 30 seconds. Like, because I feel like all of it's so hard earned. I know, like, so, but you're right. I agree with you. I just want to get there. I have to get there. That's it.
Yeah.
The edit thing is very important too. I had a block with Las Vegas in it, and one of the jokes, I dug it a lot, but I like some weird shit. So like it had a surreal hit to it instead. So only like a couple of the people in the room would go, yeah, Beavis. And so like I changed it to something a little more universal, and then at least got like more of the room. But it did hurt to edit it because I was like, I did like the original, but
that's
one works better.
I did the edit get better. That's all that matters.
Yeah, getting attached to it. If you get too attached, editing is going to be your worst nightmare.
Yeah, it's really hard. But you know what? You can always put it on another page and save it for later. Like it can always. It's like a dance. It's like a writing dance. It's going to just dance back, dance out, dance in. But as far as time, like I don't want to be misquoted, but like if you're booked on a Vegas show, you can't gyp them time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like there's a difference between like open mics use all the time that you have for sure.
Right.
And then on a show, just know when, like if it's a show that you're not getting paid for, and most of us aren't. I'm trying to change that, but
and you will.
Like know when you have a big laugh, or you have that big laugh, pull out something that's short that is going to be as big a laugh, if not bigger. So you keep your really the big laugh jokes and time them. And you can always, if you get a big laugh at 4.5, you have 30 seconds, just pull out that other big laugh joke and just end them on that. You know what I mean? So
and strong.
What?
And strong.
Yeah, for sure.
When did you how much material do you think better question, how do you build that arsenal? And this is for someone listening, because I think it may vary, but like I agree with you. There was the point where I realized, okay, we're doing fine. If you don't want to give up any time, then you gotta pull one in from your repertoire that will fit. You don't want to, you don't want to go over. How do you when did you come to that? When were you taught that, or did you figure that out?
Can I piggyback on that kind of question?
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to because I think some new comics, and I don't mean to cut your question, Dana. I hope I don't mess it up.
No. Go.
Some new comics, they stick to what they wrote, and that's it. You have to tell them you have to be able to think past exactly what you wrote and be able to pull and read and move it around. Is that right? Yeah.
What it is, it's really practice. It's open mic, perform. Take those notes, record, watch yourself. And, once you got, I'm in a writing group. So I really recommend writing groups, but find a good one. And there's techniques that I've literally just learned. One where you divide a paper into fourths, and you put your first, say you have, you can break it up. Like it can be 5-minute set broken into 4 quarters. It can be a 7, 8. It depends on what your thing is. And then you just bullet point your bits, and then you memorize that way, and you can time out each quarter. It just kind of helps with you memorizing, so that when you go to an hour show, then it'll be 15, and you know which bullet points to follow through. Does that kind of help? Yeah. And then Dana, I think you were saying, how do you know when you have the material?
Right. Just kind of, when did you figure out something that you said that was powerful? When did you figure out have some tags in your repertoire, have those 30-second, how did that evolve for you in terms of knowing that? Like you said, if you got the 5 minutes, you're on a show, you may have gotten your height laugh, but you may want to live out your time. Like you said, if you do that, then pull out the 30-second. When did you figure that out?
I think I was always kind of taught that.
Okay.
To always have like a hip pocket kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was just something that I was always sort of taught. And then it's really practicing, because sometimes it's such a time warp when you get up there, like especially for new comics, like they have no concept what 5 minutes is. It's like you get up there and it's like, whoa, I said 3 words. That's not 5 minutes.
Is it over? Right.
No, actually, you are at 8. You know, so it's really knowing what works and what doesn't. Like, when you have a joke that flies. And then sometimes your jokes just end up whittling down. You can actually get it down, like that husband joke. He's not the only evergreen thing that I have. The fact that I was an only child, middle daughter, and not a daddy's girl, pretty much too. But you just end up, I don't know, you just kind of remember it. I don't know. I just write it down. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a short bit. I can always pull that out.
Nice.
I don't know if I said that well, but
no, I think there's somebody that will benefit from hearing that wherever they need to hear that. And so that's why I asked. It was just kind of something I figured out. I'm a math person, so I just kind of started figuring out, don't want to run the light, and certainly have done my share, but getting always refining, always getting better. But then I was like, but this is how you do that. If you want this, then find this. You got to do that, So I was just, that's all,
On that, one of the things I was watching recently was, and it's not that old now, even now, it's maybe less than a week old. It was David Spade having a conversation with Jerry Seinfeld. And he asked, one of the questions he asked him, he said, how often did you find a way to make your sets last, fluff your sets? In other words, kind of like what we're talking about, add stuff that maybe is either untested or, it got a little laughs, but it's not where it needs to be, right? And David Spade's answer to him was very interesting. And I'm going to post this on my timeline again.
Cool.
For those who haven't seen it, but he basically tells him, he's like, I come from a school where a tight 7 minutes, it's better to have that for a year or two than to be the guy in 2 years who's got 3 good jokes and he can run 2 hours and nobody cares.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, you got to wait for the good jokes in the beginning and the end, and the whole entire middle, which is an hour long. He's like, it's just horrible.
No, you just made me think of a guy that comes out on stage, tells a joke, goes back to a corner for about like 20 minutes, comes out, tells a joke, goes back to a corner.
Oh yeah,
comes out, tells a joke, says bye.
Well, because even Jerry was giving his Seinfeld his opinion on that and all that, and I loved what because I've even heard Bobby Oliver, the great Bobby Oliver, say it too as well. Is if you can have only she said if somebody gets you to do a show and they're asking you to do a 10-minute set, but you only have 5 or 7 minutes, don't lie and say you have 10.
Right.
Yeah. Say exactly what you have.
Yeah.
Right. Because people are going to hear your tight 5 or your tight 7. They're not going there to hear 5 minutes of good jokes and 5 minutes of bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now, crowd work on Zoom is much more awkward.
It's so awkward. I'm sort of like, some people do it and I'm like, why are you doing it? But that's just me. I'm not like that's one thing. Like, I know a lot of comics love crowd work. I don't really fucking care about the crowd. I want to see the comic. I want to hear the comic. Honestly, I really don't care. But there's a lot of people are like, Keisha, and I'm like, that's just my cup of tea. Okay. You have a different cup of tea. That's my thing. I'm just like, I want to see the comic. I don't care about Uncle Joe sipping his beer.
I know in London, that's a huge thing, man. The British the British comics and the crowd, Dan can even attest to this. They want you to shit on them. It's really crazy.
At least the ones I've watched.
I can totally do that. And I can bring out my New York side for that. Trust me, I have a New York side to me. But it's not something I really like. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I'd rather just see the comic do his or her thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no,
it's kind of interesting. It's Norm Macdonald when he did the there was a roast of what's his name
Hasselhoff?
No, the one from Full House, Danny Tanner.
Oh,
I forgot his name. Bob Saget.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so they had been friends for a while, and so they asked him to come do a roast, but Norm Macdonald's like, I don't like doing the mean stuff. So if you've ever seen that footage, that's why he goes out and just does a bunch of jokes from a 1920s joke book.
Oh, there you go.
Like he just does that. And the rest of the roast, he's reading a newspaper and only like looking up from it when someone mentions him. And so that was his answer to like, thanks for inviting me. I don't do mean stuff. What hasn't somebody done? Went up there and did 1920s like old like kind of line.
Clever. I like that.
Oh yeah. The roasts are pretty ridiculous. I'd say that for sure. How did Friday Night Funnies come about, Keisha?
Well, COVID. It's kind of funny because before COVID, I had produced a bunch of shows a long time ago, and I said, hell no. I will never produce anything. Well, if you don't want to do something, don't ever say what you don't want to do because you'll end up doing it. Thanks for putting it up there. And because that's what'll happen. So in COVID, I was like, oh my God, we can't do any performing. I'm going to have a Zoom because in my other side hustle, I've been Zooming for 6 years. Like Zoom to me is nothing. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do an open mic. We're going to do a Zoom. And then some of my friends from Toastmasters came and they saw it because I invited my Toastmasters people. And they were like, that was a show. So then the next Friday it turned into a show. And then it turned into, I had weekly regulars that they made it their Friday COVID experience. And it's so cool because I've got some people, I'm not bragging, it's just something that happened organically. It had nothing, I was just a vehicle, but it felt like a divine appointment because younger, when I was telling you about how my mom had nervous breakdown and I felt like it was my duty to make people happy and laugh to get through the shit. That's like, it dawned on me literally a couple weeks ago, like, oh my God, I'm helping people. We're all helping people laugh right now and getting through this shit together. That's exactly what my family was for me, So it just started and it just ended up where this guy that I work with, he was like, buy the domain name. Let's get a logo. Let's do this. I'm like, okay. And then I realized, wow, I don't want to go back to catering, a soul-sucking job. I actually have a job because of COVID. I can produce. Even though I said years ago, like some of my friends are like, I remember when you said you didn't want to ever produce again. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's a different decade. It's a different situation. Forget it. I actually want to do it now. I like it. I'm having fun. I love everyone that's been on the show. For the most part, we've had majorly fun, great shows. Like,
yes,
right?
Oh, yeah.
It's been really fucking cool.
The world is better because of your show. Like, and congratulations. 40. We were talking about how many we thought you had done.
Yeah,
but
40. Tomorrow's number 40.
Wow, congratulations.
It's every Friday. So then I want to keep it alive after COVID. And I've got to find a place for it. I got to find a home for it because, the 3 bears that watch from Seattle, you guys remember in the audience, they want to fly down for opening night when we open up. Like, it's going to be really friggin' awesome.
That's dope.
Wow.
We'll have to connect. I have
yeah, and I got to get you 2 on the show because like Dana and Stefan have done it. And then I got to get you, Nicole and Dan. On it.
I've been telling Dan to hit you up.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, because I'm definitely grateful to be on the train. I feel like because of when I entered the journey in October at Dow, and then having to come into COVID and us not knowing how this was going to turn out, because certainly in March we didn't think we would still be in until May, and then when May got here and we had to do like Laugh Riot Grove Festival, Bobby's Festival, virtually, we didn't really think that was going to happen. And then like it just kept going. And so I definitely considered Friday Night Funnies, Mayor, who we want to have on the broadcast as well, Jokes from Home. I consider those kind of two of our rites of passage kind of Zoom shows. If there was ever like, to me, an establishment of order for, at least on the LA side, I think the biggest other undertaking is that there are so many comics in the world. There's fucking comedy everywhere, like every nook and cranny of the planet. There are comedians. So I can only speak from my LA experience, that I began to kind of in my mind shape you and Mayor as this kind of rites of passage. Like, okay, I've been on Bobby's show, so now I want to get on Keisha's show. Then hopefully I could get on Mayor's show, whatever. And, and obviously there's so many of those things. So I just think you have created an extraordinarily powerful platform to heal people through laughter and to match seasoned comics with those of us making our way. And the iron is continually sharpening iron. So I just think, I'm here for it. We're here for it. We're here for it.
Thank you, Dana. That's awesome. Thank you. I'm really, wow, that makes me feel really good.
That's what I'm here for.
My whole life, I felt like the biggest loser. So thank you for that.
It's like that quote, Dana, that you like that I said before: "A rising tide lifts all boats."
Right, and I repeat it. I repeat it, man, because I believe it's true.
Oh yeah, it's
thank you for that.
True. Oh yeah. So I'm happy. There's a lot of places for people, especially what you're doing, for people to go and do comedy. You know what I mean? Because we're on hard times, man. People need places to go and express themselves and feel like they belong and not feel alone. That's very important. And
it's all about connection and community. And I just wanted to create.
I thought it was mine first.
Okay, I thought it was mine too. I was like, what happened?
Now you're back.
You were frozen. Start from the top.
Oh, so I really wanted to create a safe space for everyone, for the audience and the comics. And, I think we all have to lead with more heart nowadays and really listen to people and take them into consideration. This whole, swipe left to people is just so rude. And right now we're crying out for humanity, and we can create safe spaces, and I take it really seriously, this show. I'm just a part of it, but there's a whole bigger component to it it just happened, and, I have people helping me, like Lynn's son helps me, and Christina, Ed's girlfriend, runs the tech, and Charlene Ward is really helping. I mean, it's just been amazing because, I'm just grateful. I'm just really grateful,
Yeah, we'll have to link up because I have an acquaintance, a friend who is working with somebody. They're actually, it got paused right now, but he bought what is it? It's a pretty decent sized cafe, and he's turning it into a comedy club.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
And it's in Hollywood. I don't want to say north, south, east, west, but I know it's in Hollywood.
Well, I would definitely like to check that out.
Sure. I'll have to get the information, and I'll get it for you, so that way, after all this madness is over, we have somewhere to watch.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing I wanted to say is I'm really working on getting the comics paid, because I do have weekly expenses and the donations go towards that. They get paid and that's pretty much it. So, but my goal is, my brother's company has this really cool platform called Hot Mic for comics that are producing things, where the whoever is in charge of the money gets 100% of the ticket sales. So it's like a pay-per-view for shows. So he's launching that in January. So I'm going to be moving my show. I can still Zoom in with everybody that's already linked into Zoom, we can zoom into that platform, and then I can pre-launch the show, and people go, like, I can do it on everywhere, and we don't have to worry about like the link getting stolen and or anything like that. They just go on, they buy tickets, and 100% of the ticket sales go to the artist. So that platform is going to be used as a vehicle to pay the comics.
Wow.
In January. So if you guys know anyone that's really into producing that wants to take it to the next level, I want to change LA and New York. It's a shame that we do not pay comics. Like Eddie Izzard, I saw an interview with him, and he's like, I can't believe Americans, they don't even get paid for doing comedy. Like, if you do a set at a bar, you get a cut of the door.
Yep.
It's bullshit. Right. And I think we can all change the way comedy is produced and done nowadays. Because I think it's, as a producer, I do kind of rely on my comics to bring people as well. But I also provide an audience. So producers need to do that as well, and not just rely on people bringing 10 friends and, you get 5 minutes for 10 friends. Like, fuck that. I am over that. My ovaries are shriveled up because of that bullshit.
My friends have heard these jokes.
What?
My friends have heard these jokes already.
Right.
I've only got 2, and no.
I'm down to help you. Anything I can help you with, Keisha. Just let me know.
We could get at least 4 spots like what you're talking about, then comics can thrive, because it's gonna take more than just you. We need like at least 4 or 5 of those spots, because the other 4 or 5 are the main spots that everybody is working to get into, and they ain't getting paid at. So
and there are a lot of,
if you guys are serious about it out there in TV land, like internet land.
And we need, because I know that there are, even though I don't know what they are, there are alt rooms in LA. So there are plenty of alt rooms around that are not the main, but I don't think comics are getting paid in the alt room. And what you're saying is let's create more alt rooms, but let's make sure that people are getting paid. And I think that's powerful.
We can.
I think it's wrong that a producer would make all the money on the ticket sales, and you get nothing. You get a free drink.
I know. I feel you. When I was doing music, it got to a point where I had to start producing shows so I could help take care of the artist properly.
Oh my God! And by the way, Stefan, he has a platform for musicians. It's called legato.events.com or legato.events, and it's musicians put their music up there, and whatever ticket sales they sell, and Greg, his company, promotes as well, and then you make 100% of the sales.
Who started that?
If you guys just send me an email, like you can send it to Friday Night Funnies. It's NITE@gmail.com. So if you know comics that want to start producing on a platform that you can share, and people can just go and buy tickets, just like a pay-per-view, if you will, and even musicians, let me know, and I can just connect you to my brother's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's dope.
I could even shoot his email in the
chat.
In the chat.
Oh yeah, go for it. I know Antonio had a question. I didn't want to add it right away, but let me put it up right here. When does time actually start? After they introduce you, after you thank the host, or when you start your first joke?
Usually I start the time when you get into your first joke. But not every producer does that.
Like a lot of it is like Toastmasters. When the first utterance, the first evidence that you have started speaking, doesn't matter what you say. You could spend 3 minutes if you want to, thanking everybody and talking about the music, but that's 3 minutes of your 5.
Exactly.
Definitely don't abuse it. Don't come up like this.
Yeah. That's funny.
There you go. I posted it in the comments, Keisha. Greg Norton at twistedrope.com.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because my brother's company, they really believe in helping the underdog. Well, we're from Buffalo, so that explains everything.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
You know,
it's great. Yeah.
And
there's so much that isn't explained for us not from Buffalo. Please explain.
No, but seriously, I
made it to the Super Bowl 5 times and never won. You know.
Oh,
you guys
sounds like a heck of a bill.
Some awesome comedy shows. Definitely go to FridayNightFunnies.com and check out all the stuff that's going on there, because I've performed there, Dana's performed there, Nicole's going to be getting on there, so is Dan. There's a lot of really good comedians. You guys have a show coming up this Friday. Can you tell us about any of the comedians that are performing this Friday?
Tomorrow, Willie Mack is headlining.
If you have watched this show for a while, he was one of our original first guests.
Yeah. So I have Charlene Ward is hosting. It's our last show until January 8th. I have Carol Newell, who produces a lot of shows. Tina and I did her park show.
Right. We did.
Yeah, that was really fun. I want to do her show. She's a great producer as well.
Me too. I want to do both her shows. I want to do that park show again. I want to do the, carpool comedy?
I want to do the carpool comedy too. Clevenger's performing. Austin Warren who did the park show.
Austin.
Severin. And then Ritu Tirthani.
Yes, Ritu did our Biden Harris show. She's we've done it. We've had a show with Ritu, couple of shows when we were doing our because now we're doing Giggles for Georgia on Sundays regularly to just get people enthused and informed about the runoff. But we did like 8 weeks of Biden Harris because I'd never heard of Ritu before, but I think we had her on, and then and that's another thing. Everybody, all these circles. So Flappers, Women's, Mike. You're gonna catch somebody somewhere, Right. But I saw that you have Rita. I was like,
I like the name. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Oh, I just like the name Giggles for Georgia because it makes me think that like one day in the future we'll have Mwahaha's for Missouri.
Oh my God, that's so hilarious.
Oh my goodness. But thank you for hanging out with us, Keisha.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
And like I said, if you need help with anything, you just let me know. I'm down to help you out.
Let's definitely all stay connected because together everyone achieves magic.
That's right. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes.
Oh, yes. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. So everybody knows we got FridayNightFunnies.com. FridayNightFunnies.com. So go there, check out all those fun shows. There's some really good comedians this Friday. And then we also have your handles for everybody right here as well. There we go.
Thank you.
Woohoo!
So we have Keisha Norton.
I'm very bad on social media.
Keisha Norton on IG.
Oh, you too?
On FB.
Yeah.
And Keisha Norton on Twitter.
Yeah, me too. But we love it all. It's awesome, Keisha. Like your whole your opening for the Friday Night Funnies and all everything, the time that you've put in, the energy, the time, and the resource that is very clear you've put into making it, bringing it up notches and notches.
Oh, no, you can tell. Yeah, the production value, everything. It's really nice. And thank you for that. As comedians, we appreciate it. Thank you.
I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I know you're going to jump on to the next thing. So do I just?
I just take you out backstage.
Don't look this direction.
I want to hear the rest of it. You guys did a great job. Congrats on your podcast.
Thank you.
Definitely. Look, you guys, I think it would be great to talk because we're going to talk about Schoolhouse Rock.
Well, it's up to Keisha. Did you want to
stay with
hang out? I'll try to do less talking, more listening.
Okay. Oh, and you got your wine.
Oh, that reminds me. I have to.
I needed a little wine tonight.
Okay.
You need me to take you out, Dan, real quick?
No. It's down here in a cooler because I'm a prepared weird looking dude.
Did you have anything I need to pop up, Dana, or we're gonna?
Well, I was successful at screen sharing. I think that was last week, so I'm going to brave it.
Yeah.
Again, I love the tech space, so I'm excited. Got something special planned for everybody, so I'm excited about this, y'all. It's Schoolhouse Rock is near and dear to the heart. So y'all ready to get into it?
Schoolhouse Rock, yeah.
Right. All right. So I'm gonna hit share screen. All right, here we go.
No more candy for Dan.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right, so you guys, let me there's one little thing that I see is not quite done, but it's okay. We're gonna get it together. So please,
no, if you know that slide, the whole universe will tilt over, and we'll all die.
Right. So let me just say this. I'm gonna come back to this slide. Let me do this. So wait, let's go to the top. So this is the top 5-ish Schoolhouse Rock cartoon songs. This is the world according to me. Let's get into it. And let me just say a couple of things about my top 5. Like, I actually did research on what the internet said was the top 5. And I will tell you the truth that I was actually pleasantly surprised that Entertainment Weekly, we had the same number 1. I was really surprised, and it wasn't what I thought because I've been on others. Anyway, so let's get into it. Now, please forgive me because since I try to do it a certain way, I realized I still did it backwards. So let's just start at number 5. There we go. So number 5, according to Entertainment Weekly, which surprised me, but I was very excited about it, was the Schoolhouse Rock cartoon Electricity. And Zachary Sanders. I give all the singers credit because there are too many to name.
There's nothing down there for me to put up.
Say that again.
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, is it not sharing anymore?
No.
Did it stop?
Yeah, it's being miserly.
Oh, no.
Miserly.
All right, so let's do it
miserly.
All right, so maybe because I went full screen, it didn't like full screen. Is it sharing now?
No, there's nothing down below for me to.
Oh no.
Usually it shares to the back stage.
Yeah, there's nothing backstage.
All right, so let's try this. Okay, so let me do it let's try something else then.
People that are viewing right now, imagine a llama.
Okay.
Do not pay attention to the technical issues we are having.
You didn't give me the blues last week. All right, so I'm gonna try. That's still going full screen. That's still not.
Let's put the good energy and let it come up.
Right. All right, so
imagine the llama, imagine the llama.
Okay, now I can't get it.
I don't know if that's working.
All right, so let's try this again. So I got an idea. It's not going as a
unison though.
Huh? Did it? What about now? Do y'all see it?
No, there's nothing in the background because once it posts to me in the backstage, it'll let me add it to the stream.
But it won't. Okay, so then let's do. So
it's not showing up backstage.
Right.
It has stood us up.
So then let's do this.
Keith, what do you do in this situation? The slides have not shown up at their time, but they show up a little later. What do you do to them? You make them go on last, somewhere in the middle.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna share. I'm just gonna send it to you because
you're sending it to me or to.
Well, where should I send it? To you or to Dan?
Yeah, I like that big one.
Send it to both. What's that?
Send it to both of us, and then Dan can do it.
Okay, I like
this jug.
Cheers. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's not that big. I'm just a little dude.
All right.
Like the mug's bigger than me.
Sent.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Through the magic of Google, it is sent. You guys, all the folks in the audience, thank you. I got cocky because it went so well last week, and obviously, it's one of those things. I was teaching when I teach chess, and I work with my kids on stuff. They're just like, well, why do we still have to do no, not even my chess kids, my math kids. And we were working on our times tables and we were working on rounding numbers and, but we did rounding. I'm in 4th grade and we did rounding in 3rd grade. Why do we still have to do rounding? And I was like, hey, who likes basketball? Who's your favorite, team? Like Golden State, the Clippers. I was like, so have you heard of Steph Curry? They're like, yeah. I was like, he still practices free throws. He still practices.
Yeah.
Nothing changes. Nothing changes. So I'm just saying, and a great teacher that I used to work with used to always say, remind me of that, because I as a teacher, I'd be like, well, no, now that they know how to do maiden ones, we gotta teach them how to do maiden 2, maiden 3, maiden 4. We gotta take them to the next level. And he was like, dang it, like, just, let's just, and when he said that, he was like, Steph is still I was like, you know what?
We're talking about chess, right?
Yeah, we're talking about chess.
Okay. I just finished wrapping up Queen's Gambit on Netflix. Amazing.
Okay, amazing. All right.
So good.
All right. Yeah. How we doing? Y'all got it? I'm excited.
I'm getting it right now.
All right, yeah.
Right now. I'm getting it right now. I'm gonna put it up here on the screen for you.
Okay.
Wait.
I'm gonna have to stick to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to. I will have to send it to you guys in the future.
We're gonna smoke signal this presentation, damn it.
And then
there we go.
All right. So all right. So it's probably not going to be exactly how it needed to be. I realize now that in trying to do it in reverse, I should have done it in reverse. So you guys, we are here to talk about the timeless, iconic, most amazing American institution in my book, the top 5-ish Schoolhouse Rock cartoon songs. Because I think if we ask everybody on here, everybody has their own top 5. And I think we probably could agree on what's in the top 5, but what order? It's like that shell game that Dave Chappelle was talking about. Like, it could be anything. All right. So
there are 7 slides. So which
can
one
we go to number 6? Is there a way to just go to number 6? Can we do that? Boom.
Number 5.
Number 5 is the Schoolhouse Rock cartoon Electricity. So who remembers the song? Electricity. No. Okay.
That's I do not remember. I've seen a few episodes. I don't know if I've seen them all.
Right. So this is a Dana top 5. Clearly, this is unique to me. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was a dropout of Schoolhouse Rock. I only took a few semesters, and then I went off for art.
Yeah, I feel that. I respect that. All right. Well, let's go to slide number 5 because everybody's gonna recognize number 4. I know y'all. So Schoolhouse Rock cartoon.
Okay, I know that one.
Conjunction.
Yeah.
I know that one.
Your function?
This is my number 1.
Okay, so the next line.
Huh?
Well, the next line for that is you were just saying it, and that reminds me, picking up cars, right? Because
hooking up cars, it says hooking up cars and making them run right.
Yeah.
And then there's ore. Like the way, Jack Sheldon, who a lot of these people, I got to talk about all of it. So a lot of these singers were probably unknown at the time, but they, their voices will obviously go down in history. Jack Sheldon, Bob DeRoe, even Zachary Sanders, who sang the Electricity song. I knew that he sang the Verb song, and he's African American because most of these cats, they're jazz cats, so you can't always tell culture. But I was just excited. So Jack Sheldon sang this song. What were you going to say about cars, Dan?
Well, no, I was just going to say that this song, like the reason why I can't ever remember the real lyrics is because of Family Guy. Because they did a parody of this. They were talking about, it was a sex education video. And the only reason why I know it so well is it was so fun to sing. Like all my roommates would say something. They do the vagina junction. What's your function? But the most fun is doing the voice after that is kicking and sperm spitting out babies. Doing that old timey singing voice just makes you feel good inside. I don't know why.
What the hell?
That is okay. So I was completely unaware. Like, because here's the thing. I will say this, and I probably should have put it in the presentation. A couple things have happened. Like the Roots came up with one that's they're not necessarily as part of the franchise, but I forgot what they were explaining. What were they explaining? Juneteenth? What were they explaining, Nicole? Dang it!
I think it is June. It's not Juneteenth.
I think it might be. My mind is so much. So we'll find it in a minute. So I love it. And then also there's a great neo soul group called the Foreign Exchange. One of their producers, Fonte. I can't think of Fonte's last name. But Fonte, they did a very much a Schoolhouse Rock for Turning Georgia Blue. And I think y'all have heard me sing it before. Turn this motherfucker blue. Turn this mother. It's totally trap, but it is so fire.
Our Schoolhouse of Rock.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's been so
much.
much.
Give it another 10 years. Kids will be doing that.
Right.
I think division now.
But here's the thing, but it did so much for math for me. And last thing I'll say about this one, because I know the clock is ticking on us. When I was in the 6th grade and we were, our teacher was they got 2 conjunctions. Like you heard all of us kind of whispering and like all of us just started singing, like almost spontaneously, but we were whispering conjunction, junction. Because I think up to that point, whatever English you've been taught, we just hadn't been taught it in school, but we had seen these, these cartoons. So I just think that they're such a cornerstone of Americana. All right, let's go to the
and it's an important song to remember, so you use the right "your" and don't get blasted on the internet.
That would be facts. So again, this is definitely, admittedly, I have to tell you a secret. This was not in anybody's top 5, but I love Blossom Dearie, who still makes incredible jazz albums, and I still think that this is worthy. I think this is an amazing. If you could skate a figure 8, man.
I remember this actually.
Right.
Did you ever see this one, Keisha?
I don't remember it.
What's that?
Did you ever see this one, Schoolhouse Rock cartoons?
I did.
And Keisha, you were ice skater. Of course.
I was a figure skater, and yes, I did many 8s.
Right.
I actually loved figures, and then they kind of banned that. I was just looking up Blossom Dearie. Yeah, I loved Schoolhouse Rock.
Like, oh my God, yeah. Like, no, I'm sorry. Go.
Oh, sorry. It's like going back to my childhood. I freaking love this.
Amen. Yeah. And you should. So if you're a jazz person, I think it's a particular ear. Check out Blossom Dearie, because I didn't know, until I knew. That's all I can really say. Let's see. So let's keep it moving.
And it's important to skate a figure 8 vertically. If you do it horizontally, it never ends.
That's true. Can't argue with that at all. Yeah. Not at all. Next slide. Wow. Next slide. All right. So number 2. This is a good one. This is a good one. Like, I'm Just a Bill, again, sang by Jack Sheldon, who also sang one of the ones that started.
Did he do conjunction? Because it's that same voice, right? Like, I'm just a bill.
and like, so yes, I mean, and a friend of mine thought, she's like, was that Ray Charles? I was like, no, but it was like Jack Sheldon, John Hendricks, and also Bob DeRoe. Bob DeRoe sounds a little different, but they're all kind of this great raspy, this great tradition of jazz. And I just realized I think I put the wrong name on one of these slides, but we'll go on. So anyway, I think this is just one of the most amazing ones, because again, we all got educated by these before we learned about it in school. So again, like somebody like Trump clearly wasn't, he missed because these songs were accurate to the process, of how it goes. Like I knew, like, activism and all that made sense to me early because of moments like this. So keep going. Number slide. 1. Yes. So here, this is what shocked me. Let me just say this. I know this is probably not everybody's number 1, but when I saw that it was Entertainment Weekly's number 1, I was too excited, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you listen to Verb, that's what's happening. It's the clear R&B song of the bunch. I'm just gonna leave it right there. So when you're a kid and you're watching this, and there are nothing in all of them, pretty much, but like white kids and a couple of maybe some brown spots, you're excited to see the one where it's clearly the soul influence, and Zach Sanders is singing, that's what's happening. I can take a noun and bend it, Verb, that's what's happening. So anyway, so just excited. So when I saw the Entertainment Weekly had Verb as their number 1, I was like, hey, Entertainment Weekly, I'm feeling that.
By the way, looking at this, it reminds me, never skip leg day.
Never skip.
Yes, you got to work out your legs, not just your arms, folks.
So wait, who said they never heard Figure 8? That was
I had not heard that. I don't even know if I might have heard this one for a short time when I was almost a teenager, but I was still watching cartoons. I did that into my 20s because fun. But like what's it called? I saw like 5 episodes. They were playing Nickelodeon for a while.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
They brought it back to like Nick at Night or like the in between time between.
Right, nice.
Yeah, and so like, but they only circulated the same 5 episodes, and I think there was more than that, right?
There was plenty more. Oh, and I'm sorry. Go back to slide number 7 when you can. It's not. It's just it's the closing slide. But to your point, that slide I think generates your point. There are too many to name. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like so over there with the 5, that's Bob DeRoe, I believe, on that 5, 10, 15, 20, like 25. Like Bob DeRoe has this great lilt. And I learned from there that when you do your 5s, that everything, and he says it in the song, and I took it to school, that every 5 multiplied by all even numbers will end in 0, 5 multiplied by all odd numbers will end in 5. And these are great gems and jewels when you're 7 and when you're 6 and when you're 8. Rufus Xavier Sarsaparilla, also either Bob DeRoe or Jack Sheldon, just again sounded, or maybe even John Hendricks sounded a little like Ray Charles, but it was all about his, hers, my pronouns. And these are concepts that, believe it or not, you know, they're not always that easy. Like just to, you know, when you're learning what pronouns are and that they sang songs about it. Lolly, 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 get your adverbs here.
Yeah, they need to bring something like this back.
Wait, you stuck a 6 then.
Right. No, these are all adverbs, you know, because it ends in ly. Like they just explained all that. Yeah. So imagine in the world of education, and I'll leave it here, there's what's called front loading. It's previewing. It's this way that you can teach things to, or introduce things or preview things for students that they haven't quite learned yet. Yeah. But then once they get the rest of the information, it all comes together. Yeah, and I think Schoolhouse Rock, did a lot of front loading for a generation of us in terms of
they need to bring something like this back. There needs to be stuff like this. Back.
Don't redo it.
Well, I mean, they did just bring back Animaniacs, which had the big credit for like the educational things, like I think it was Yakko, says the states or something like that.
Oh yeah, that actually.
And so they just brought that back, so they can have some potential there.
I'm for all the learning things, man. We don't have enough education for the masses. We need as much of it as possible, man. Younger generations are suffering. I feel education-wise, not having a lot of things like these. It's extremely needed.
I forgot all about it. I'm gonna make my daughter watch this.
Are these episodes on YouTube?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can find them
very much.
So we should all start posting these. If 5 of us started posting these episodes, it would remind parents like, oh my God, my kids are driving me nuts right now. Oh, here's an educational fun video. Like we could revamp, we could just start just a grassroots share of.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I'll do it to all my
moms. You mean of autoplays to keep them busy while I have a drink, or?
That's right. Sort of.
Like, here, kids, here's the playlist. Now leave alone.
Just do autoplay. Like download and then autoplay.
They actually have those, by the way, they have like autoplays of cartoons and stuff for parents, but like sometimes they sneak something in the kitchen and see, and then you have to explain something over dinner, which you didn't expect to explain, and you were really hoping that you didn't pick to have roast beef that night.
Alrighty.
Oh my God.
The preamble, one of my favorites. I left it off down there. That's what I learned about the Constitution. Like, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. Like, how do you get like for the singers, all those syllables? But here's the thing. I think, and y'all, Nicole, I think they taught us to sing too, because I can sing that now. I
heard the note.
right. But that was, I was so proud when I could understand what they were saying. Establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, secure the general welfare, and the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity to our day.
My daughter,
How many? I'm sorry, Steph. I mean,
no, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we need to post this anyway. How many adults don't know this information? Like,
no, you ain't. That's
come on, Nicole, come through.
Are you saying according to the last election, or
according to several conversations I've had with several human beings? We need to post that one.
And that's also nice calling them human beings. I'm sorry, that's me. I just want my daughter to find learning fun, right? That's what we want for all the kids. Because the moment they feel like it's not fun, it's like, do I really have to do that? Dad? No, I don't want to do it, Dad. I don't want to do it.
It's about what you got to make it fun. I'm homeschooling a 5th grader and a kindergartner. Like, I have to be creative in my approach every day. I'm literally doing a show for my children every day to get them, especially my kindergartner, to make it fun and exciting. So if daddy's doing it and you make it fun,
that's a piece of sanity just leaving.
and you got to remember, like, in order to make these things fun, they should try.
Yeah.
No, that helps, of course. But that's the one thing. Like when I saw these when I was a kid, it made learning things exciting. And sorry.
Well, I was just meaning that, like, they need to try, because you can't just put like a very popular character on it and it's just going to work for the kids. Remember, I'm a fat guy that owned Mouser size.
Oh, Jesus.
Right. No, and here's Dan, you make sense. Like, it's not about the absolution of the work. It's just about like the level of engagement. And again, I can only, I can speak to my peers and our peer group and probably Keisha, the level of engagement, because you can link things together. Like, kids check out, like, just because I've spent a lot of time teaching in classrooms and I've taught like all ages, people check out as soon as they don't understand. And so if something like this has been front loaded in a fun way, and like we know that song and visuals are the way to teach anything and everything, to start, then once they get in a room, and like I said, we were able to make those connections, they're further, any student of any age, children, especially small ones, they're just further engaged. And they become, and so it's a path that you're building. It doesn't absolve, parents or but it's just a way to help them be more engaged. And that's important, because school 12 years is a long haul to be doing the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I didn't know I was learning when I was watching this. I had no idea I was learning.
Right.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it.
Amen. Come through, guest hosts, come through. You had Nick's comment up. It was very powerful. I agree. I liked how it segued into Soul Train Saturday mornings too. I agree with you, Nick. Like that was like all these pieces go together. I agree with you.
You're gonna make me smart and teach me how to dance in the same afternoon. Don't scare me with a good time.
Let's dance.
Well, thanks you guys for for getting this thing. But I've learned. I will in the future just send my presentations to y'all. Thank you.
One more time.
We'll get it working one day. Once we get sponsors, they'll get us new computers and new microphones. Except for Stefan, who's got a nice new microphone. I'm loving your voice tonight with that blue, Stefan.
Thank you.
I need something like that. I can't. If I get too close to it, it's bad.
Well, the Christmas sweater's in the house. We love it. We love it.
Yeah.
So we want to thank Keisha one more time for hanging out with us, staying for School of Rock, and also for helping the comedy community with Friday Night Funnies, and making sure comics artists get paid. Right. Yep. And helping maintain a place and a haven for people to go and express themselves. And we want to thank you for coming and hanging out with us and staying extra, because there's lots, appreciate it.
So much for having me.
Yes, thank you. So we're gonna say goodbye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Keisha.
Happy holidays. All right.
So make sure everyone to go to FridayNightFunnies.com. Again, www.FridayNightFunnies.com.
Every Friday night when you don't have a date, you show up there. You do that.
Every Friday night when you do have a date, you can show up there. Speaking of which,
you could do that too. Tell them to come over and watch Zoom with you. It's a modern thing.
She mentioned Toastmasters, and that's something. Even though we're both Toastmasters, we never met at Toastmasters, but we eventually, like she said, the Toastmasters that she referred to, they live down the street from me. Like, they're my physical neighbors. And Rick and his wife, if you go, there's always Rick and his wife. Rick, I can't think of Rick's, but they're at every show. but they're my neighbors. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Now you're gonna run into them, and you're just gonna call her Rick's wife.
Well, and she actually helped me bring in too many bags the other day, and that's what she is right now. She is Rick's wife. She is Rick's wife. I agree with you, Dan.
We are going to go into
No, it's okay because we all know people that, like we say,
favorite Christmas movies.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
All right, so our last topic of the night. We have some, but we didn't have yours, and I don't. You know what? I have a new one, but it's not going to be in here. I didn't get to throw in on it.
That's okay.
I love all these movies.
We're gonna go through really fast because the last one is just our opinion, so that way we can.
Are these in any order, Stefan?
No, just Christmas classics.
I love all three.
So we have Christmas classics. We got Scrooged, which is arguably, in my opinion, one of the best holiday movies ever. We have A Christmas Story. Fun fact about A Christmas Story: that was directed by Bob Clark. Bob Clark also made the first slasher film ever made called Black Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So he made both of those. We also have Will Ferrell's classic Elf.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then we have Christmas comedies. The infamous, famous John Hughes film Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Who doesn't like that one, right? They're remaking that now with
makes me think of pillows.
That's right, pillows. That's right. His butt cheeks were pillows. This is actually being remade. I don't know when they're going to start filming due to COVID, but it's going to be remade with Will Smith and Kevin Hart.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. We'll see.
So Kevin Hart's going to be the John Candy?
I'm thinking so.
They're not going to make Will Smith the John Candy. If they do, that's actually fucking epic.
I think that would be a good flip.
Yeah, I want to see Will Smith as the less, like the
less serious guy.
You may laugh at me, but people like me. Like, I want to see him as that guy.
I think if they switched it, and gave Will the comedy stuff, I think that'd be interesting. It'd be different.
They're not going to do it, but it would be funny.
Yeah.
No, I want it totally out of character. Like, you're not allowed to yell in this one, Will. You're not going to do it. You're not just going to be like, like, no. I mean, no, he's a very talented actor, but he's a great yeller as well, and I have to give homage to that.
And
I mean, I don't know if my yell is that powerful. I'm not going to do it right now. Kids will probably be like,
that was pretty powerful on the ears, Dan.
No, I'm sorry.
We also have the classic.
It like cuts through.
We have Home Alone with what do you got? Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, Kevin played by Macaulay Culkin. We got a very Harold and Kumar Christmas. For those who haven't seen it in 3D, it's insane in 3D.
I've not seen it. Really?
Yeah.
We were talking about Home Alone last week. Home Alone turned 20? How did it turn this year?
30.
30
or 35, yeah.
30.
It's like now, ever since we talk about everywhere I go, it turned 30.
It came out when I was 11. If you can do math, you know how old I am now.
1990.
And then we have Christmas horror movies.
Oh.
So we have Better Watch Out, which you can watch on Netflix. If you already have Netflix, it's actually pretty good.
That's what they never do. They never watch out, and then they start to cry.
But and it's not super crazy like some of the other stuff out there. But it for what it is, Christmas horror movie, it's actually not bad. If you have a chance to check it out, definitely check it out. I mean, I wouldn't watch it with the kids, of course.
You can't combine horror and Christmas.
Okay, so come through, guest host.
Depends which family.
Because I was like, I didn't know this was a genre. I didn't know this was okay. I didn't know this was okay. And
there's a lot of Christmas horror. And then, like I was saying a little bit earlier, Bob Clark, who directed A Christmas Story, he also made Black Christmas.
Well, the thing is when I was a little kid, some of the little parts of Scrooge that we mentioned earlier, which is the comedy horror, is also kind of a dark comedy, and it had some scary parts in it too. But you learn to love it when you're,
Oh yeah,
this is unnatural in my humble opinion.
And then
you didn't
completely agree.
And then you have Krampus, which is really good. Krampus is really good.
Remember, Dana, we talked about Krampus before. It started in Germany. They have the Krampus festival every year, and they made a horror movie where the demon is actually eating the people and stuff. So it's like
that is so weird. Right. I can't even.
And when y'all talk about Krampus, I didn't know it was a movie. I didn't know.
Oh yeah, it's a comedy horror movie. I don't want to give it no. It's one of those where if I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Trick or Treat. It came out I think in 2009. It's like a cute Halloween celebrating horror movie. It's very comic booky. So there's a little bit of blood, but it doesn't go to a point where, if you can't handle like 80s type stuff, it's not like that. But it's a cute film. That same guy, Michael Dougherty, he also did Krampus. So it has like a comedy and horror kind of thing. It's actually pretty good. But we also have Christmas action films that take place and have Christmas involved in them. We have Lethal Weapon, obviously with the great Danny Glover, Mel Gibson, great actor, great director. He's crazy. And we have Die Hard, one of my favorite holiday movies.
Well, didn't David Carradine try to make a remake of Die Hard one day in Thailand?
I see where you're going with this. Touche, sir.
It's pretty bad.
Okay.
Are you muted, Dana?
Oh, I am. It's my end. Cut it off at the pass. No, Dan. No, we will not have it.
We have Long Kiss Goodnight with Sam Jackson, Gina Davis. Also has Christmas going on there. And then let's see here. We also have these classics.
Right.
Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The Polar Express, which I just watched a few days ago with my daughter. She loves the hot chocolate song in there. And then we have the Adam Sandler 8 Crazy Nights.
I did like the little grandma and grandpa in that. Like, oh, you made Ziggy, but he can see.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's those are basically those. And to close it out, we're going to let's see.
All right, well, shameless plug. I have nothing to do with the film. Jingle Jangle on Netflix is very
good.
Jingle Jangle. Jingle Jangle is the shit. That's all I'm gonna say about it. It's the shit.
There you go. And
you say that. That's fine.
There we go. When is it too early to set up holiday decorations? I'm gonna say October 1st.
Yes.
And a little bit of November, I think. Yeah. I mean, you can do what you want, but I come on, let's have Halloween and Thanksgiving, folks.
First of all, give Thanksgiving the respect that it deserves.
Amen.
Well, is it okay if you like combine your Halloween and your Christmas decorations because you like horror movies? Like you just you start with like the Wolfman and then you give him a Santa hat. Like
we know where you were really going, Dan. All right, we see your true intentions.
We just said Christmas and horror do not go together. We just said it.
So then you don't like
Nightmare? No, it's icicles.
What about Nightmare Before Christmas? Anybody like that one?
Yeah, see? Yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas. They merged the two together, and Jack Skellington was just a...
Dana's like, hell no.
No. Nick Craft Crew says that the new Bad Moms Christmas. Anybody familiar with the Bad Moms Christmas?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it, but I do want to see it. I know there's 3 movies.
It's cute. All right, Nicole, because you said it. I'll check it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out.
There's a Bad Moms Christmas?
Yeah.
Good Mom's Christmas is just a bunch of fudge. I missed out.
But I mean, how do you guys feel walking into like a CVS or Walgreens? It's still barely Halloween, and you go right in there, and you're going to get some candy for Halloween for the kids, or leave out on the porch because of COVID, and you're going in, and you got Christmas lights, plastic Christmas trees up, Christmas cards are out. I mean, does that make you feel like it's rushed, or you want them to take a little bit more time?
I did it. I needed something on the fly for Halloween for the fun for the house because we were stuck in the house. And I went to Walgreens with my mask on because I wear my mask, and it was Christmas stuff. And I needed a wand for my daughter's costume. I was hot. You hear me? Hot like fish grease. I was like, it is not over. It's October 31st. We're still in the thick of it. Why is this whole aisle Christmas? I was hot.
Right.
Oh no,
that's a little too early. And that's
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That makes it like you're like, oh, is this a corporate hellscape in which I'm just a pawn that buy stuff every cycle? Well, sort of, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you wonder too if they're rushing it this year because of COVID.
Right?
They push it out a little sooner just in case. You know what I mean?
It's like, remember when Santa shows up, you better be wearing your mask because Santa goes to bars.
Oh boy, that's a bad mall Santa.
Bad mall Santa.
Nick says, Dana, I feel like I know you after 21 weeks. You can call me Nick.
He said you can call my Nick. What does that mean?
And I'm trusting
you. You can call. He meant me. He's like, no, you can't just call his Nick that he owns and he puts in a jar every now and then.
So Nick, you
don't have to call him Mr. Craft Crew anymore.
And I can say Nick Craft. I just do front and last, then front and back, or first and last. Can't talk all of a sudden. So Nick agreed. I only ask one small favor. Dana has two ends, so if when you type it, you can just give me that love. That I would love that. But I'm with it. Somebody, you know what? Somebody text me.
My autocorrect still gives me shit for that. It's like, are you sure you mean two ends?
You know what? And there it is. Nick said typo because you're right, Nick, and I know that you know. A friend of mine said to me yesterday. He said, "My son, little Terry, turns 16 later today," and I was like, you hold him to the time of birth? Can you give him credit for being 16 all day? Like what you're saying? He turned 16 later today. Anyway, all right. Nobody got my joke. Never mind. Okay. Somehow I was trying to tie it into me and Nick being friends, and
my bad.
My two ends.
My bad.
It just went bad.
So bad. He must be drinking as much as me or more, probably. I know my cousin. He drinks more than. Oh shit! I just outed him on our show. Don't worry.
I love you, Nick. I appreciate you, sir.
But we want to thank everybody for coming out. We want to also thank our guest host, Nicole. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
We gotta get you on the show too. We want to interview you.
Yes.
See what's up. See what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We're going to schedule that. And we want to say a big thank you to everybody who came to hang out with us. We got Nick here. We got, who else we got here? We got Antonio. Antonio. We have Anthony. We have, who else do we have here? We have
birthday boy Ronnie and his wife.
Happy birthday, Ronnie. And happy birthday, Anthony.
Victoria Haynes was here.
Vanessa, Victoria Haynes. Right, we got Sergio. We got Ronnie. We got Seth Lawrence.
Seth stopped by.
Yeah. And all that good stuff. And Seth actually put a really good comment. I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it.
Did you already say Sergio?
Yes, and Sergio.
Oh, and Sergio.
Patrice O'Neill said, if you steal a joke from me, you must need it more than I do. I'll write another.
Let me just say something. Hold on. This is very powerful. Patrice O'Neill, let me just say this. Seth may not be in here, but Seth just got a new notch of respect for me because Patrice O'Neill is somebody who is, he's not living anymore. And honestly, the world of comedy, the world of comedy, as much as we all love it, and I know we're already over time, so I'll be really minute with it. It's, it tends to be segregated in these interesting ways. And, so much so that we don't call, I think people may say white comedy, but people are very quick to say black comedy or black comedy as a subgenre or genre. I don't want to get into sub, but I have to admit, and this is, I guess it also maybe speak to the generation that I come from. It's also segregated in my mind. So I'm actually blown away to see Seth quote a Patrice O'Neill, because in my mind, the world seems so, I was in a room and they were talking a lot about how African American comedians are, and this is another topic for another day, held to a different standards, that when they're trying to book clubs, like they're on them about how much social media do you have, and then so the name Mark Norman came up, and they're like, Mark Norman can't pack a room, but no one is ever, when they book him, he's not being asked how many, what you're following, what you're this, what you're that, and a great piece, which I don't even know how I would find it. There was an article that somebody wrote to expand it a little bit, without digging too deep in it. It talked about some of the genuine stars, like African-American actor stars that have been stars like almost since day one, but the efforts of Hollywood to turn certain people into stars, and they could be losing money on some of these actors, white actors. I can't think of any names right now. So in my mind, I think this is an amazing thing for Seth to be talking about Patrice O'Neill, because I certainly hear about him from all of our.
He's a goat, dude.
And that's
he's a fun guy. I always loved him on Shorties Watching Shorties also. He did that with Nick DiPaolo, where they were the babies that were watching like animated short films of comedians act.
I think I've seen that.
And that was such beautiful characters. I mean, you wouldn't show them to your kids, but they're these babies that are just watching adult films all day or some stuff. It's funny.
Give little comedic commentary and all that. No, yeah, he's one of the goats, 100%.
Goat.
Yes. And our Ed Namrock is not here. But his ghost is appearing. Nick says, "Is there really a time limit?" Come on, I've seen Ed's podcast.
We'll post that.
Shout out to the Ed.
Oh,
Ed will go long if you can. He's got some endurance.
Oh yeah. But again,
ladies, he's taken.
I need snacks. I need snacks right now.
We want to thank everybody for coming out. Again, thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Happy birthday to Ron. Happy birthday to Anthony. And everybody have a happy holidays. And don't forget to check out on our YouTube and other locations. We will be posting a special Christmas, special edition podcast episode coming to you on Christmas. All right.
Christmas Eve.
That's right. And you don't want to miss Christmas Doug is all I got to say. Or Santa Doug, right?
Santa Doug. And we'll have another one for New Year's Eve. That's right. Pre-recorded. So if you put comments on it, we're not going to answer them back because we have not the ability to do so.
But we still want, if you can add these something like this in that when we're not there. Yes, please. We
put comments because then it gets the social media going, and then we build our presence, and then eventually Mark Zuckerberg comes down and gives a golden plaque we put on our wall.
That's right.
So, and the comments will go, when y'all come back. This is what I said. When y'all come back.
Oh yes. So thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us. We'll see you guys. Well, come hang out with us on our special Christmas episode that will be on YouTube. Yes, I said YouTube. On Christmas Day. All right. And we'll see you guys all soon. Everyone have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you guys. Thank you.
Randy Watson.